Hey guys, it's Connie from Gliding Through Blindness, and I'm so excited. It looks like I'm going to be on some podcasts coming up in the future, and I have some exciting guests coming up on the channel too. And so I hope you will stay tuned for details on all that. Um, but this time we are going to be talking about um, the what transportation, how it will differ in the future from what we know now, and not the too distant future at that. It's kind of crazy to think about how fast all this is coming. At first it seems like it's happening so slowly, but then that exponential curve thing, it just gets faster and faster. It's not linear, it's exponential. Um, but be sure to check out my recent video where I talked about the intelligence explosion, just some of the recent things. It's hard for me to keep up. And shortly after I recorded that video, I heard about something else that I wish I could have added to it. Grok 3 is just around the corner, probably a week or two, or maybe three, but that is said to it's going to be better than anything else that has come before, which only makes sense because it will be using the Colossus, that huge infrastructure of data, and it's just yeah, that's kind of a unique uh, thing in itself. But I'll probably be talking about that in a few weeks or whatever, because I'm trying to balance all this material out so that everybody stays engaged and not do too many videos on one thing right in a row. But um, just a few months from now is when Tesla is scheduled to roll out their Robotaxi. And I believe eventually, I mean, they're going to start out very slowly because they want to make sure it's very safe and that they follow all of the regulations, of course. Because so there's a lot of hurdles for them to overcome. But they already know where they're going to start, and they're going to dominate the market eventually, I believe, because they just have so much data and so many more cars that have been collecting data all this time. I mean, right now it seems like they're falling behind because there's already other robo-taxi services out there like Waymo. Um, but Waymo, as I've said before, can only go to certain preordained cities where they have been mapped. And even they start out in just a small segment of the city, whereas the robotaxi that Tesla is going to provide will be generalized and will be able to go anywhere. And they will be way less expensive. I mean, at first, I'm sure they're going to charge as much as they can in order to get as much profit as possible, and there wouldn't be enough supply if they started out too cheaply. But they are in their goal eventually will just be that they can, since they don't have this expensive lidar and stuff like that, they only use cameras and neural nets, which is the way that it's way more human like, because that's what we use to see. We don't have lidar, or not me, I guess, but other people that do have vision, they just use their eyes, which function as cameras. And the Tesla can even see better, really, than a human, because it has cameras all over the car. Um, and so they're going to start, though, with their new Model Y will be the first robo taxis, to my understanding, which means that people who own the Model Y right now will be able to enroll it in the robo taxi system if they want. And that means that during the day or whatever, when they're not using their car while they're at work or whatever, they can elect to have it pick up other passengers, and then they get some of the profits from each ride. And some people have already bought several Teslas because they want to turn this like into a fleet and make like a career out of it, like a passive career where they're just kind of letting the cars do their thing. And of course, some people don't like that idea of of strangers getting into their vehicle or whatever. So it's going to be an individual thing, but it's all like Tesla would be liable and a charge for, or I mean, would clean the cars and stuff like that. And of course, some people say, well, what if I need to go somewhere when my car is gone? Well, then you can just hail another robo taxi if you want, or have a second car or whatever. But a lot of people are really excited about this. And Tesla will also use some of their own like Model Ys, but they also are building this Cybercab, which is meant, it's designed just for the Robotaxi service. And they'll probably even have a few out on the road when they start their rollout in a few months. And they did show what they are like at the recent event last um, October. I'm blanking on it. It will come to me before this video is over. But where they demoed the robots and the Cybercab and the Robovan, or Robovan is what he calls it, but it's a Robovan, which isn't going to be coming for a few more years. But this Cybercab is going to be very affordable. Um, so it won't be anything too fancy or flashy because it will be optimized for just the Robotaxi service. And that means it won't have a lot of the features that you would want if you owned it, like it, because it's not for ownership of like for your family car or whatever. Um, so like it doesn't have a glove compartment, for example, because they don't want people leaving their stuff in the Robotaxi. And that's just a few things. I'll get into more of the features or lack thereof in a minute. But all in all, once you get used to it, everyone is just going to love it, I am sure. um, and once you learn to trust it, because it won't have any steering wheel or pedal, but it will have a means by which you can call a human if necessary. And of course, at first, they will probably be teleoperated to some extent because some regular states or whatever might have regulations that mandate that to a certain extent, or at least they'll be very heavily monitored, I'm sure, at first. But the goal in their functionality, their actual ability, they won't need any sort of teleoperation, which is another way that they would differ from like Waymo, which Waymo is starting to branch out into more cities, so they're probably using less of the teleoperation and more of the automation by now as well. Um, but um, they are going to uh, use or not be able to go any more than, I forget the exact number, but like 80 miles an hour will be the fastest that they'll need to go. So they don't need to have really big, powerful engines or anything like that. Um, and so um, it won't have a phone charger, for example, that you sit your phone in. And you'll probably have like USB thing where you can plug your phone in and charge it, but it won't have like one where you could easily forget your phone in the cab, because they want to keep all that stuff to a minimum, since of course there won't be another human driver in there to double check and make sure you didn't lose anything. And So it doesn't have a lot of the nooks and crannies that you would see in a regular car. Because those are harder to clean, and like I said, you could easily lose things. And it has only one seat that will seat two people. It's like a bench seat. And so it's just really basic but really comfortable too. It does recline a little bit. And The reason they didn't put a back seat in, it was obviously to save on expenses, but also it's been statistically proven that the vast majority of you Uber rides only have one or two passengers. So that will take care of most of the needs right there. And if your family, um, if more than two of you need to go somewhere, you can just hail more than one cab, or in the beginning, or you can even elect on the app. I'm sure you can have the choice to say, do I want a Model Y Tesla or another kind, or do I want the Cybercab? Because the Model Ys will just be their regular self-driving cars that would have more room for more people. And of course, you're excluding the drivers, so two should be plenty for most use cases. And there are only like five buttons in this entire vehicle. Two for the open and close the windows, and two for the doors and the trunk. And then the light also doubles as that's how they're going to call a human, because if when needed, I mean. And like when you fasten your seatbelt, that is when the door will know to close. So that's kind of a neat way that they've built in that to make sure that everybody buckles up, because the door won't close until you're buckled up, and it won't open until you unbuckle. Um, and then afterward, the car will drive itself to Tesla headquarters or whatever, and charge if needed. Or and then there's an automatic robot arm that they've already developed, and you can already see videos of this, that will go and clean the car. So like the cameras will be able to detect, of course, when it needs to be cleaned, and you can also, as a passenger, write or rate the car, like how clean was it when it arrived and stuff like that. And they've already started showing people previews of the app too, and what the interface is going to look like and stuff, which is pretty exciting. I can't wait to try it. And so you will be able to set the app so that it's perfect for you every time, your own preferences, like the temperature you like, so that automatically when the Robotaxi comes to where you are, it will be just like your own car will, where it will play the music or the book that you were listening to or the podcast where you left off, because it will all be tied into your phone app, and it will know the exact temperature that you like, whether or not you like heated seats, um and like even how you like the car to drive. Like if you're in a hurry and want it to speed up a little bit, or there's like something called chill mode, like where it won't try to pass other vehicles. And then there's a more aggressive mode where it goes faster and um like more like a lot of human drivers would be. But you'll be able to tell it what you want to watch on the screen. Like if you just want to see the road passing by, or if you're watching a movie or something, or eventually, and probably not in this first generation, but you will be able to talk to it very soon, and it will be able to talk to you. So you can also just put this in your app for now. Like if you want it to go a little faster in the beginning, you can just type that in, or probably even speak to it. You'll probably have that ability before it can speak back to you, but that's coming very soon. Um, but yeah, it'll just can be like a tour guide if you want, and tell you what you're passing and what you're coming up to, and like places that are nearby that you might be interested in. And um, so the door opens interestingly, which I have never seen it, like so I can't exactly say for how it opens, but my understanding is that it opens like upward, and so that it's way more uh it's better for like than a typical car, I believe, because people don't have to bend over as much to get into it. You can just basically stand up and then sit down. So no matter what size of person you are, or whatever like that, that's people say it's very easy in that regard. And Um, so, this is going to be a little shorter video, but I just wanted to give you a brief overview of what is coming. And of course, I will be there to show it all as much to you as it's happening as I can. Um, And so stay tuned for all that because it will be here before we know it. And it's just so cool because we've all been waiting for this for a long time. Those of us that have kind of been in Tesla for or known about it for a long time. And it seemed like they just kept running into roadblocks. But I mean, this is a monumental task that hasn't been done before. And then I think the Optimus robot, which they're going to have thousands in the factory, or at least 1,000 is their goal this year. Even hundreds, I think, would be pretty incredible that you'll be able to see working in the Tesla factory. And then next year, they want to scale it even more and start selling it to other companies. And then probably the year after that, it will be available for us to have in our homes. And so that's just very cool to think about. And so they at first they'll be quite expensive. Like I said, it's just like with the Tesla car because they want to maximize their profits. So just an individual wouldn't be able to afford it at first, but there's going to be plenty of companies out there and corporations that see the how useful these could be and will pay any price because it will save them so much money in the long run, which I'll probably do another whole video about that in the future. But it's just really awesome that all this is coming just like this year. And so, yeah, stay tuned for all that, and I will keep you posted. And please hit the subscribe button. And I always appreciate when you hit the like button and comment and all that because it helps more people to see the videos and it helps me know what you like and don't like. And your feedback is just always appreciated for any new ideas, etc., etc. So, with that, I will say bye for now and see you next time.